Hi, I'm Emily Harper, 29, and tonight I'm about to face my family for the first time in 5 years. They're gathering at Atelier, one of the hottest venues in Manhattan, to celebrate my brother Jake's promotion to partner at his law firm. Growing up, my family always judged my dream of becoming a fashion designer as a cute hobby, not a real career. They wanted me to be a lawyer or a banker, like them. Little do they know, I've built something they can't ignore. My stomach's in knots as I adjust my jacket, a piece from my own sustainable fashion line. Sometimes the hardest runway to walk is the one that leads to your past. Before I dive into this story, drop a comment below and let me know where you're watching from. Have you ever had to prove your worth to people who should have believed in you from the start? Hit that like button if you relate, and don't forget to subscribe for more real stories about chasing your dreams. Let's get into it. Growing up in Westport, Connecticut, my family, the Harpers, weren't just well off, they were old money. My parents, Catherine and William Harper, built their lives around status, the right country club, the right Ivy League degrees, the right careers. Our colonial mansion hosted charity galas where my mom would show off me, my older brother Jake, and my younger sister Claire like we were trophies. She'd say, "The Harper children are destined for greatness." Jake was set for Harvard Law, Claire was a math prodigy headed for finance. And me? I was the odd one out. While Jake aced debate team and Claire won math Olympiads, I was obsessed with fashion. Not just wearing it, creating it. Our housekeeper, Rosa, a seamstress from Puerto Rico, saw my spark. She'd let me use her old sewing machine and teach me stitches. "Mija, you've got magic in your hands," she'd say. By 15, I was designing outfits for my friends. By 17, I was selling custom prom dresses to classmates behind my parents' backs. But when I mentioned Parsons School of Design, my dad shut it down. "Harpers don't sew for a living, Emily. We hire designers." To keep the peace, I went to Yale for business, like my dad wanted. But even there, I found ways to feed my passion, taking art electives, sneaking into design workshops, and running an underground fashion club where I'd style students for events. My double life kept me sane, but it wasn't enough. I was 6 months into an MBA program, miserable, when I met Elena Voss, a sustainable fashion icon, at a campus event. I'd slipped her one of my sketches after her lecture. She looked at it, then at me, and said, "You're wasting your talent in a classroom. Come intern at my studio in New York. I'll teach you to build a brand." That moment changed everything. 2 weeks later, I stood in my parents' pristine living room telling them I was dropping out of my MBA to pursue fashion design. The silence was deafening. My dad finally said, "This is unacceptable. We've invested in your future." I shot back, "You've invested in your idea of my future, not mine." My mom's face turned to stone. "If you choose this path, you're on your own. No money, no support." Jake, home from law school, smirked, "Good luck making minimum wage cutting fabric." Claire, already interning at Goldman Sachs, just looked away. I left that night with a suitcase and my savings, barely enough to cover a month's rent. The next 5 years were brutal. I lived in a cramped Brooklyn apartment with 4 roommates, worked 16-hour days, and took out loans for design school. But under Elena's mentorship, I found my voice. I focused on sustainable fashion, using eco-friendly materials and ethical production. The studio's intensity, the creativity, it fed my soul in a way business school never could. Then, 2 years ago, a buyer from a major boutique saw my collection at a small showcase. She offered to stock my designs and introduce me to an investor. That's when Ember Threads, my sustainable fashion brand, was born. Ember Threads took off. We landed features in Vogue and Elle, and last year I opened Atelier, a hybrid showroom and event space in Manhattan. It's the hardest venue to book in the city. I bought out my investors 6 months ago, making me the sole owner. Through it all, I kept my family at arm's length. They knew I was doing something with clothes, but not the scale of my success. I wanted to prove myself on my terms, not to win their approval. So, when Jake's embossed invitation arrived for his promotion party at Atelier, my atelier, I was floored. They had no idea it was mine. They probably chose it because it's trendy and exclusive, perfect for their image. After days of debating, I decided to go, not to beg for their validation, but to close that chapter.
I was secure in my success. What I didn't expect was how it felt to watch them critique my work, my space, my life, without knowing it was mine. As I step into Atelier, the familiar scent of cedar and lavender from our signature candles hits me. I'm wearing a tailored blazer and trousers from my spring collection, understated but sharp. My family's at the center table, of course, looking like a magazine ad for wealth. My mom's in Prada, my dad's studying the wine list like it's a contract. Jake's in a bespoke suit, his fiancée Lauren next to him in Dior. Claire and her husband Tom round out the group, both in corporate chic attire. My hostess, Mia, spots me. "Good evening, Ms." She catches herself. "Your party's seated. Shall I take you to them?" I nod, grateful for her discretion. As I approach, my mom sees me first. Her eyes do that quick scan, sizing up my outfit, assuming it's thrifted. "Emily, you made it," she says, air kissing my cheeks. "We were worried you'd be late." I check my watch. 7 sharp, Mom. My dad gives me a stiff hug. "You look fine," he says, which in Harper speak means I'm not thin enough for their crowd. Jake barely stands, offering a cheek. "This is Lauren," he says, as his fiancée shakes my hand with a grip that screams, "I'm important." "Harvard Law, just made partner at Sullivan and Cromwell," she announces. "No nice to meet you, just credentials."
Claire's greeting is warmer, but Tom's smile feels forced. He's the one who booked Atelier, probably under pressure to impress. "Well," my mom says as I sit, "we've ordered champagne. Hope that's okay." I notice they picked the second priciest bottle. Flashy, but not reckless. Typical. The room buzzes with the vibe I worked hard to create. Sleek lighting, recycled wood tables, and upcycled art installations. Every detail, from the hemp napkins to the vintage chairs, is my vision. My lead server, Javier, brings the champagne. He glances at me, silently asking if I want to be acknowledged. I shake my head slightly. "A fine choice," he tells my dad, pouring with precision. "We're celebrating a promotion," my dad announces, fishing for VIP treatment. "Congratulations," Javier replies smoothly. "Atelier is honored to host you." I sip my drink and say, "I'm surprised you got a booking. Atelier is tough to snag." Lauren leans in. "I know people," she winks, smug. "Pulled strings with a client who's tight with the owner." I bite my tongue. Probably Sarah Klein, a regular buyer who books for corporate events. Mental note, talk to Sarah about Lauren. "To Jake's partnership," my dad toasts. We clink glasses. Then my mom turns to me. "So, Emily, what have you been up to? You've been so vague." All eyes lock on me, ready to judge. "I've been working in fashion," I say simply. "Still with that sewing thing?" Jake sighs, like it's a phase. "I thought you'd have moved on to something real by now." Claire chimes in, "Not everyone's cut out for corporate life. It's meant to be kind, but stings." Lauren looks confused. "What do you do? Retail? Stylist?" "Various roles," I dodged. "I've worn many hats." "We're just glad you're getting by," my mom says, with that fake warmth. "Our door's always open if it gets too tough." Javier approaches with our amuse-bouche, a vegan cucumber tartlet with edible flowers, a nod to my sustainable ethos. "Compliments of the house," he says, setting one before each of us. His eyes meet mine, a flicker of loyalty. "This is it?" Jake scoffs, eyeing the bite-sized dish. "I'm starving." "It's an amuse-bouche," I explain. "It preps your palate." "I know what it is," he snaps. "I'm not clueless just because I don't play with thread." They taste it. My mom nibbles dancily. My dad pops it in, barely chewing. Claire and Tom seem to enjoy it, but Lauren wrinkles her nose. "Too floral," she declares, leaving hers untouched. I see Javier's jaw tighten as he clears the plates. The first course arrives, a salad of heirloom greens with citrus vinaigrette, sourced from a local urban farm. "This is small," my mom notes, poking at it. "It's about quality, not quantity," I say. "The menu's designed to showcase flavors." "In my day, you got a real meal for your money," my dad grumbles. Lauren pushes her plate away. "Too tart. Those greens were hand-picked this morning," but I stay quiet. The second course is a mushroom ravioli with truffle oil, my signature dish. "Now this looks decent," my dad says, digging in. Lauren swirls her wine, one I chose to pair with this course. "Okay, wine list, but not world class," she critiques. Javier, who I poached from a top sommelier program, shoots me a look. I smile faintly. They eat, but the jabs keep coming. "So, Emily,
How are you affording a place like this on a retail salary? Jake asked bluntly. This venue's insane. I manage, I say. Oh, come on, Lauren laughs. A night here costs more than you make in a month. Are you in debt? Dating someone rich? I'm not dating, I reply evenly. Then how? She presses. Maxing out credit cards to keep up?
The third course arrives. Grilled quail with a berry reduction. This bird's tiny, my dad complains. And undercooked, Lauren adds, though it's a perfect medium rare. She flags Javier. Take this back and cook it properly. Javier's eyes flash, but he nods. Of course, ma'am. I give him a subtle nod. He'll swap it for a fresh piece rather than ruin this one. Really, Emily, my mom says, how are you paying for this? Answer your brother. The tension's thick now. I'm about to speak when Lauren frowns at the bill, which Javier just delivered. Wait, there's a mistake. They only charge for drinks, not the food. Javier approaches, right on cue. Is there an issue, ma'am? Yes, Lauren says, pointing. You forgot the meal. Javier looks at me, questioning. I nod. No error, he says smoothly. The food's been covered. By who? My dad demands. Javier smiles at me. Welcome back, Ms. Harper. Your investors are ready in the showroom. Shall I prep for your meeting? Silence. 6 pairs of stunned eyes turn to me. Thank you, Javier, I say calmly. Please close out Ms. Carter's drink tab. The rest is on the house, as usual. Very good, Ms. Emily, he says, taking the folder from Lauren's limp hand. The design team wants your input on the fall collection when you're free. I face my family. Welcome to Atelier, my venue. I'm the founder of Ember Threads and sole owner of this space. Silence stretches. My dad recovers first. Your venue? You work here? No, Dad, I own it. I'm the head designer and CEO. Impossible, Jake blurts. This place is in vogue. It's impossible to book. Yes, I say. L2, and we just signed a deal with Nordstrom. Lauren's jaw drops. But you said you were just in fashion. I wanted to see how you'd treat me if you thought I was struggling, and you've made that clear tonight. My mom clutches her necklace. Emily, why hide this? We'd have been so proud. I laugh sharply. Would you? You called designing a phase. You cut me off when I chose Parsons. Tonight you mocked my hobby while sitting in my showroom. My dad clears his throat. We were worried about your stability. You were worried about your image, I correct. My passion only matters to you now because it's successful. My lead designer, Aisha, approaches. Sorry to interrupt, Emily, but the Nordstrom reps are here for the expansion pitch. Also, your editor called about the memoir. I nod. Thanks, Aisha. I'll be there soon. My family's faces are priceless. Memoir? Claire echoes. Out next spring with Penguin, I confirm, about building a sustainable fashion brand. Emily, my mom tries, this is incredible. Why not tell us sooner? Because you didn't support me when it mattered. You didn't care about my dream until it had a status you could brag about. Lauren, quiet until now, speaks up. So you let us critique your food, your wine, your space, knowing it was yours? I wanted to see your true colors, and I did. Javier returns. Your reserve bourbon, Ms. Emily, for the meeting. Thanks, Javier. Tell Aisha I'll be there in 10. I stand. I have a business to run. Thanks for coming. My mom grabs my arm. Don't leave like this. Let's celebrate. Brunch this weekend? I look at her, not the intimidating figure of my youth, but a woman scrambling to save face. I'll think about it, but I have investors waiting. Claire stands. Emily, this is amazing. I'm sorry I didn't see it sooner. Her sincerity hits me. I nod. As I turn to leave, my mom hurries after me. Emily, please, we need to talk. I have a meeting, Mom. My business doesn't pause because you've decided I'm worth your time. The others follow, clustering near the bar. Dinner tomorrow, my dad suggests. We could help with expansion, Lauren adds. I don't need help, I say firmly. I built this because I love it, not to win you over. Aisha reappears. Nordstrom's asking for you. 5 minutes, I promise.
I face my family. If we're going to move forward, it's on new terms. I'm not the failure begging for approval. I'm a designer and entrepreneur who deserves respect. Of course, my dad says quickly. And no networking through my brand, I add, eyeing Lauren. She blushes. About Jake's party, my mom starts. What about it? I ask. We want you there, Jake says softly, as my sister, not whatever we thought before. I pause. Despite the years of judgment, there were good memories. Late night talks, shared laughs. I'll be there, I say. And if you want, I can host a private event here for the firm. My gift. Jake's eyes widen. You do that? After tonight? You're still my brother, I say. But this isn't for your approval. It's me sharing what I've built. Now I have to go, I say. Brunch Sunday? Not your club, though. There's a diner in Brooklyn you need to try. We'll be there, my mom promises, relieved. They leave. Their worldview shifted. I exhale, lighter. Aisha grins. Family drama? You have no idea, I laugh. Let's talk fall collection. 2 weeks later, I'm swamped, finalizing the Nordstrom deal, editing my memoir, planning a second showroom. Brunch with my family was okay. I took them to a dive diner run by a friend from design school. My parents were out of their element, but the food won them over. I didn't know pancakes could taste like this, my dad admitted. Small steps. Now, at Atelier after hours, I watch my team wrap up. Javier's restocking candles, Aisha sketching. My phone buzzes. A text from Jake. Firm event planning's a mess. Coffee tomorrow? Need your take. I smile. Another step. My mom's called twice, asking real questions about my work. My dad sent a Forbes article about women in sustainable fashion. Claire wants to bring her kids to a design workshop. Fragile beginnings, but real. The biggest change? I've stopped needing their validation. I've started a mentorship for young designers from tough backgrounds, teaching them what Rosa taught me. Watching them grow is better than any magazine feature. I pull out my notebook, writing the intro for my memoir. Fashion was my rebellion, my refuge, my truth. These designs are more than clothes. They're a life built on authenticity, not approval. 5 years ago, I chose passion over expectation. It cost me, but it gave me a purpose richer than I ever imagined. Have you ever had to choose between others' expectations and your own heart? Share your story in the comments. I read everyone. Hit like if this resonated, subscribe for more stories of grit and triumph, and share this with someone who needs a reminder. The only approval that matters is your own. Thanks for joining me. Keep chasing what sets your soul on fire.